All right, welcome everybody. This is Chris Cicchinelli, and let me tell you, we have a new title of a podcast. And yes, you're probably going, well, why are we doing that? Well, because here's the thing. During COVID, I got uberly focused on exactly what my purpose was. And my purpose was to make sure that I'm out there helping entrepreneurs kind of find their way. During this time, I was able to also sit back and write a book, which is called The Secret Is You, which that is really kind of what we've talked about, on HIT for all of the 80 some odd podcasts that we did, talking to entrepreneurs, finding out exactly what they did, how they can get the most out of their lives, and making sure that they can find where it is that they are going and understanding that they're not working a job, which is just over broke. So today I'm going to kick it off, which is our first one on The Secret Is You. And I'm super excited about being able to be here and share all of the different things I've learned over the years doing the things here at Pure Romance, taking the last 21 years of experience and being able to share it with so many people. So today I'm going to jump into it because I think why not talk about debate? Now, I'm not going to get into the whole political world that we live in right now, because I guarantee you that's going to be enough that we're going to see over the next, well, it could be the next couple months. Because are we really going to have a president or not have a president? You know what? Who knows? And who really, at the end of the day, I know that I'm going to probably take a lot of flack for this, but who gives a shit, right? In a way, it's not going to affect me. Yeah, maybe I'm going to have to pay more taxes. Maybe I might have to do this. I'm not going to get into all of the different things that I cannot control, because at the end, it really, truly, truly doesn't affect me, because it's going to be 4 years of my life. 4 years of my life that I'm not going to focus on what or who is in office, but I will focus on things that I need to make sure that I do to better have healthier conversation or healthier debate with people. Now, that's really the truth. We're getting into a world that we can't even talk about politics at the table. We can't even sit back and talk about, our differences, because it turns into an argument, it turns into a fight. And we look at that through what's happened over the election. I've always been an advocate of 51-49. I've always said that that's how elections are won. Now, I've never seen an election won 49.6 to 49.4, but you know what? Things are changing in the world that we live in. Things are changing in the world that we are seeing today. But that's the same way when it comes to, conversations. You're not going to win everybody over. You got to understand that you're trying to win the majority. You're trying to make sure that you talk to people, and through healthy debate, through healthy conversation, that's an important thing. And especially you as a business owner in today's world, more than ever, you have to understand that how you speak to people, how are you interacting with people, how are you getting your points across without arguing, without setting somebody else off. And you're probably going, well, Chris, does that mean I need to be like vanilla ice cream? No, you don't need to be vanilla ice cream. No, you don't need to just be passive. But you have to understand how you deliver, how you speak, how you can get your points across without having to stand up on a political stage, or how to stand up on a soapbox and tell everybody why your business is so great and why everybody should join you and what you're doing is amazing. Same way when it comes to other things in the world. I think that so many of us can take away from the 6 things I'm going to talk about today. I did this the other day on Facebook with my group. I do Rise and Grind every morning at 9 a.m. with my sales force. And I think it's the most important thing is kind of kicking them off with healthy conversation, healthy thought process. Because I think if we can make more people think, if we can make more people kind of, come to the table to have conversation and to have healthy debate, I think that's where we win. I think that's where we win as leaders. I think that's where we win as business owners. And I think that we ultimately can also learn from having healthy and better conversation. So a couple things that I want to do. Before you're sitting down at Thanksgiving, if you do have Thanksgiving with your family and all of a sudden there are things about political questions going on or things that are happening in your world, the big thing I would tell you is this: do your homework. Too many people get into conversations, get into debate. They start going through and stating all of the different things that they stand for, all the different things that they are proud of, or whatever it might be. But I feel like very few do their homework on the other side of the fence. Now, we love the stuff that we love, right? We do our homework on the things that generate, happiness through us, that generate like the way we feel about a certain topic. It could be how we feel about a topic like, I don't know, it could be a topic on who we believe is president. It could be a topic on LGBTQI. It could be a topic on women entrepreneurs, women leadership. It could be a topic on almost anything, how we feel about our school systems. How do we feel about our taxes? All of those things are things that come up and that could be debates or they could be conversations. But here's what I think. I think too many people do their homework on their side, like how they believe, for me, the LGBT. I was a person that did not do my homework in the beginning. I didn't do my homework on the beginning when it came up to LC, right? Like I had no idea what it meant to be transgender. I had no idea what it meant to have this personality. I did not know all of the things that maybe I should have known. I can't tell you how many conversations that maybe I came in prior to this, having this affect my life, and maybe I was not open because I didn't do my homework on the other side. I think if you're going to go and you're going to have conversation with people, or you're going to have debate with people, if you're going to, want to sit at a table and get productive and where we can all learn from, I think we need to do that. So today I challenge people more than ever to say, hey, listen, you have your core beliefs and how you believe, but I think it ultimately is awesome if you're able to go out there and study the other side, because I think that leads to point number 2. Point number 2 is this: we cannot change how somebody feels about something, right? We can't make them do anything we don't want them to do. I think we all have to follow in Socrates' footsteps. And Socrates' footsteps are pretty clear. You got to make people think. You can't make them do anything, but you sure can make them think. I think through open-ended questions, asking questions that make a point, and making your point, you just need to ask questions to people to get them to start thinking. I think too many people come into this and think that when they hit a conversation or they hit a debate that they have to change people to their side, to their beliefs. What I think you have to let people do is I think you have to let people come to their own thought processes. I think they have to come to their own conclusions of a story. That's where you truly gain power. That's where you truly gain people to start moving them more and more towards maybe the way you think, or be open to the way you think. I see that too many times in business, that people are just trying to push their ideas on people. You got to think about this. When you go to a therapist, you go and say, this is how I'm feeling about my relationship. This is how I'm feeling about, my work. This is how I feel about anxiety or depression or whatever it might be, right? And so you'll talk about this. You'll spill your guts about everything that there is that's going on in your life, and your therapist will literally stop you in the middle of it, or stop you once you get to the end and say, "But tell me how that makes you feel." What the therapist basically is saying is like, yeah, I just spill my guts to you, lady, or I just spill my guts to you, man, and I want you to fix my problem. Tell me what I need to do. Tell me how I can make it better, because I don't want to be in this pain. I don't want to hurt anymore. And you know what? They ask you, well, how does that make you feel? Well, shit, if I knew how it made me feel, why would I be paying you $200 an hour? But think about it. They don't want to give you the answer, because if they give you the answer, it's not going to make it stick. What they want you to do is they want you to self-diagnose. They want you to figure it out on yourself. That's where it really becomes powerful. And that's why I think with a debate, I'll never forget when I was down in Lexington, Kentucky, and I had to go on a news channel down in Lexington, Kentucky, because we were doing an event at UK that got a ton of press. It was like, oh my God, here it is. The Antichrists have hit the University of Kentucky campus. Oh my God, they're going to turn everybody into, selling sex toys and all kinds of crazy things that are going to go out there. And I'm thinking to myself, so I had to get in my car, go an hour and a half down there, and do a interview with the news channel down there. Now, the funny part about it is they had the opposition there at the same time, which was really interesting. And they were interviewing the opposition, which was like the concerned citizens for, family values of Lexington, and all of these people that were kind of protesting what we were doing was not right, not healthy, not good for the college. So literally, instead of me arguing my point and saying, look, we're giving people opportunity, this is a great business, look at what we do for society, we're trying to keep, the divorce rate, all of these things. If I would have came at it and attacked the situation, I would have lost. I ended up having a very good conversation. This young woman came at me and was telling me everything I was doing wrong. And instead of me going back at her in some argumentative format, what I did that was different is I asked her a question. And the question I ask is, hey, hear you. Thanks so much for your point of view, but I have a question for you. Do you believe in healthy, loving relationships? And with anger and all of this voice, she's like, well, yes, I believe in healthy, loving relationships. I said, good. I said, because, that's exactly what we do here is, we provide people healthy, loving relationships. Do you know what the divorce rate is creeping to? She's like, I know the divorce rate is high. It's not as high here in Lexington. Well, that's good. The divorce rate is creeping to 60% globally in the United States, and other parts of the world. And what our consultants are doing is they're trying to go out there and establish and help people communicate. They want to increase healthy, loving relationships. Just like the Bible said, let's love thy neighbor. Let's love each other. Let's make sure we're doing the different things that are out there. And when you come at it from a questioning and you come at it from an openness of having other people kind of answer their own question or start making them think, that's where you can make change in a conversation. You don't always have to come at it from a combative position. You watched our debate that the two presidents, candidates had this year. No, it was a shit show. They didn't let any other person speak. They were speaking over top of it. And go back to every bit of all of the media that played out afterwards. They look like two children out there fighting over whose ball it was. And nothing got accomplished. And you as the viewer, all you sat back and watched was a train wreck. You didn't get any information out of that. None of you grew as people. None of you understood what their points were, what they could do differently. That's a problem. That's why I think the third point is the most important point too, which is you got to stay calm. Too many people get so irrational when it comes to debate. You know why? Is because the calm person is the person that's in control. If you can stay calm and you can really think about the next question or think about the next way you're going to go, that's the game changer. That's the people that actually are the winners in this situation. Those are the people that actually can go through and really kind of lead the conversation, or better yet, direct the conversation because they keep so calm. I will tell you, there is so many people that say insensitive and ignorant things when they are in a debate or having a conversation with somebody else. Too many people go down that path of sending something or saying something that they should not have done. Perfect example. I have a 24-hour rule that in my life right now, and I've tried to implement this during COVID. I never really did a good job at this before because I was very, I was that person that you said something, I'd snap right on you. And I learned that doesn't get you anywhere. Actually, you look more foolish than anything. If you're the person that cannot stay calm and stay in control, you're automatically going to lose that conversation. Lose your footing, lose your positioning. And that's a big, big thing as a leader and as a business owner. You have to understand not everybody's going to see it your way. So when you stay calm, you're going to be more clear. The things that you're going to say are going to come across more clear. You're going to be able to think about what you say prior to saying it. How many of you that are listening to this, and you don't, have to raise your hand, but how many of you right now are listening to this that sent an email, sent a text message, or made a phone call when you weren't calm and you regretted it within 2 minutes afterwards, or the next day, or the next week you kept stewing on it? You're like, man, why did I do that? Why did I say that? Why did I send that? Because what happened was you didn't give yourself 24 hours to process. You just decided to snap. You just decided to go irrational. You just decided to let your emotions take over. And when your emotions take over, guess what happens? You've given the other side what? The leg up. You've given the other side what? All your cards you just laid on the table. Instead of thinking through it, instead of taking your time, thinking about what needs to say and how to properly deliver it, you were in a rush. You were pissed. And when you're pissed, you will say things that you wish you wouldn't have said. I've seen it too often as business owners. They lose clients. They lose team members. They lose significant others. Somebody gets frustrated in a relationship. First thing out of their mouth is, they get mad about a situation. Let's get a divorce. We're done. I'm over this. But that's probably happened in multiple households. And then you're like, I didn't mean that. I'm so sorry. I'm just in a bad mood. I'm just blah, blah, blah. Stay calm. Stay calm. The other one is too many people that get in the political or they start talking about their positioning on something, they try to get too ambiguous with statements, right? They try to go over people's heads. They try to use, terminology or jargon that it doesn't make sense. And what I really think that most people need to do is they have to do this. You have to communicate your position clearly. If I would have argued with that lady that was down in Lexington over all the things that we do, of all the people that we help create businesses for, or all of the people that have went out there and had better relationships because of, being able to have those doors of communication opened. If I would have went at her and try to not answer her question, but kind of go around her question or speak ambiguous, she wouldn't have got it. But when I went right at her and asked her, because I saw this in her face, I saw this in her question, I saw how frustrated she was, because what she thought we were trying to do was break up people's relationships. And instead of talking about the business side of this, I went right to the emotional side. I spoke clearly and said, hey, do you believe in healthy, loving relationships? I didn't make it any more than that. I didn't talk over her head about we're a $100 million company at the time, and we've got all these people we're helping, and we only sell 70% of our products that we sell, or 70% of our products that we sell are this, and 30% are marital aids or whatever she was thinking. For her, it wouldn't have made any sense if I went that direction, and that's why I didn't do it. I just wanted to speak clearly so we can have a conversation, and I didn't want to take it off into 15 different directions. I wanted to stay focused. I wanted to make sure that it was clear, because I see so many people go in debates or conversations and they start adding so many other things in, and you go, what are we really talking about? Has anybody ever been in a conversation like that? What are we talking about? We started here, and then you started adding all of these other things into the conversation. I'm so confused. And then what happens is both parties leave pissed. Both parties leave angry. The other thing too, number 5, is you got to stay open to new ideas. I think if we enter into a conversation with open mind and never assume that we have all the answers, that's also a way. In the world we live in today, I think the more we can be open, the more that we can, be understanding, be empathetic. That's a huge thing. That's a huge thing to having healthy conversation, healthy debate. I don't want to sit at a table anymore and say, oh, we can't talk politics. That's bullshit. We shouldn't have to do that. We should be able to have those conversations with each other. We should be able to be open-minded to see everybody's different positions on things. We don't always have to agree on everything, but how can we be open to it? And especially as a business owner, I got to understand, if I choose to be an entrepreneur and not an employee, I got to be open to different views. I got to be open to different understandings that people have. It goes back to even when I talk about my child, LC, I had to be open to that conversation. I had to, because if I didn't, I wouldn't have my child. I had to understand that love conquers hate every day. I might not have understood everything and I thought I had all the answers, but I found out really quickly how a young child could teach me that, being open, not just in business, But being open in social views in society is a huge, huge piece for people. I think if we come at it as that we want to stay a student on everything that we do in life, I think that's a game changer for us. That's why I say do your work. Make people think. Stay calm. Communicate clearly. Making sure that you're staying open to new ideas. And the last thing is this. Be willing to admit defeat. Be willing to admit. Can I tell you, it's okay sometimes to lose. And that's hard for me to say as a business owner that likes to win at everything I do. But at some point, it's okay to understand that defeat's going to happen. Put your pride behind you, because you know what? Maybe when you put your pride behind you, maybe when you sit back and you learn, you find something new, a new thing that you didn't know, a new idea, a new way somebody was able to educate you. Man, that's where growth happens. We don't grow without stress. You don't grow your muscles without having stress. You put stress on them every day when you're working out. You're getting them bigger. You're getting them stronger. And as our mind and as our body, that's okay to have a little bit of stress. That's okay to have those things that happen that we don't have all the answers to, or that maybe we started off believing one thing, and you know what? We were steadily or slowly maybe able to change. And change doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen overnight. So even when you come out of some of those conversations, you feel like, man, I feel like I didn't really make a dent into that person, or maybe they didn't see it from my view. Here's the thing I think you can always walk away with. You can walk away with, as long as you come from a grace, class, and respect, as long as you come from a good place, people will go home and think about it. And they might not get the answer right away, but over time and over steady education and over steady commitment, that's where real change is happening. Look, don't forget it. The real way that you're going to be successful in business is you. The real way you're going to go out there and win a conversation or get people to change their mind or their thought process on it is you. It's always about you. That's why when I wrote the book, The Secret Is You, it meant that everything that I talk about in entrepreneurship or owning a business or being great at something is going to come down to your time, your effort that you put into this. I appreciate you tuning in today. This is The Secret Is You. Don't forget each and every day that your job is to make yourself a better version of you. Have a great day, everybody.